My name's Adam from Inside GWOC. Today we have a special guest, Tyler Stegemoller, Max Prep's Ohio Athlete of the Week. And we are going to have Alex host that one because he has a closer connection because he also bowls with Tyler Stegemoller.
Welcome to the second episode of Inside GWOC. I'm Alex Rader, and my guest today is Tyler Stegemoller. But before we get talking to him, let's go over my top 3 stories and the recent stats for men's basketball in GWOC. All right, so top 3 stories. The UD Arena has been selected by the OHSAA to host the state basketball championship for both the girls and the boys teams. 3 GWOC teams are still alive in the boys basketball postseason tournament, Centerville, Wayne, and Beaver Creek, and are headed to play games on Saturday, the 6th. And GWOC's own Tyler Stegemoller from Kettering Fairmont High School Varsity Bowling has been voted the Max Prep's Ohio Player of the Week. And here's some stats from around GWOC in men's basketball. So on Friday, February 26th, Miamisburg defeated Springfield by a score of 83-49. Centerville defeated Beaver Creek by a score of 73-45, and Wayne defeated Lebanon in a non-conference postseason game by a score of 68-46. And our next GWOC games in the postseason are on March 6th with Miamisburg at Moeller, Centerville at Mason, and Wayne at home versus St. Xavier. All right, so let's start off big, shall we? You recently got voted the Max Prep's Ohio Player of the Week. How does this accomplishment compare to others you've achieved?
Well, this is a big accomplishment for me. It's honestly incredible that I've been selected as Max Prep's Student of the Week. I never thought this would happen, but with great recognition and great support all around me, I was able to earn this, and I can't thank anybody enough for having this award for me.
When did you actually start bowling professionally?
Professionally? It was around 2 years ago when I started bowling.
And you've already made it to about 279 for your high game?
Yes.
All right. And how do you think this season's team compares to last season, both individually and team-wise?
Well, last season, I believe we had more talent and better team chemistry. But after the loss of our seniors last year, we fell apart in the beginning of the season before tryouts. And then when tryouts came and the regular season approached, we built up a team chemistry that was different from last year's, and we just started rolling and rolling. It started off on a fire, like it was just crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It was amazing. And then individually, we're always there for each other, picking each other up. It's just incredible how we've been able to do this.
Let's also go over a few of the stats from this year for both you and the team. So you are currently at an average of 211, and your high is 279 with your series high of 525. And you placed individually in the Elks Invitational at first, and at Division I sectionals tournament you placed 17th. Right now you're at 7th individually in GWOC and the Ohio Player of the Week for Max Preps. And for the team, right now they're in 2nd place at, I believe it's 17-2. They got 1st at the Wright State Raider Collegiate Challenge tournament, 1st at the Elks Invitational, 4th at the Division I sectionals tournament, and last week they placed 2nd in the Division I districts tournament, and they're going on to bowl in the state tournament this week. All right, so how has this COVID virus affected you and your bowling?
It's affected me greatly because before COVID, I was practicing nearly every single day, trying to improve my game. Even though I just started, I was doing very well before COVID. But once COVID hit and we had to take a 3-month period break, then I lost it. It was hard to come back into bowling, from bowling every single day to like bowling once every week. So then once the restrictions released a little bit and I had more time, I just started going every day again. But it is difficult still trying to go bowl every single day, practice.
After placing second as a team in districts last week, how well do you see this team performing at state this week?
I think we're going to perform very well. We have the right team, right equipment to go and win in state. It's very possible. I think if we're there for each other and the team chemistry is still there, then we have the best chance of winning state.
All right, I'll be waiting to see that. So what was your best game you've ever bowled?
Best game I've ever bowled was a 279, and that was at Woodman. I don't remember who the opponent was. I think it was Troy. And then, yeah.
How were you able to bowl that well?
Well, in the moment, I was very excited after I bowled it, but before, I didn't bowl so well the game before. I was very frustrated, but I had the mindset of refreshing. It's a new game, a new start. Something different can happen. So I came into the game and ready to fire and started bowling.
Are you planning to bowl after high school?
That is my plan, yes. After high school, I would love to bowl for a college.
Do you have any idea of where that might be?
I have no idea where.
All right. And what's a favorite memory you have of being on this bowling team?
My favorite memory? Ooh, it's too many, honestly. If I'm gonna be honest, it's probably practice sessions. I can't pin one, but there's some funny moments and some good moments. Definitely when coach is angry and fighting with players. Not like aggressively fighting, but, you know.
What's next for you and this bowling team after the state tournament, do you think?
No idea, honestly. I think after losing 3 great seniors, we're going to have to rebuild again with upcoming juniors, sophomores, and freshmen up to varsity. And we're going to have to build a new team chemistry because every year is going to be different. It's what the plan is, at least.
So the seniors this year, there were 3, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So how well do you think they've improved over the years? I know you've only been there for 2 years,
Yeah.
but from last year at least to this year.
From last year, from I see is one of the seniors, his mental game has greatly improved since last year. He was always down when he did bad, but then this year happened and he gets down a little bit, but now he picks it back up and gets back on track. There's sometimes he struggles a little bit. Our other senior, he's just one of a kind. He's pretty good at bowling, and honestly, the only thing he improved was his game, not mentally, but just physically. And then our last senior, I mean, he's just been a great teammate and bowler all around. So, I mean, not big improvements, but small, minor improvements that made him better.
So who do you think at this moment right now is bowling the best in GWOC as a team?
As a team? Probably us.
Really?
Yeah.
So not Centerville, even though they're
No.
even one spot ahead of you?
They have 0 team chemistry. They don't cheer for each other like we do. They don't get behind their players. If one player gets down, that player is down for the count. There's no way they're going to get them back. Unlike us, we can pick up our teammates and start fighting again.
You bowled for JV for a few games last year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So how is the atmosphere different between bowling on JV one year and then varsity almost the whole year?
It's really different because when you're bowling on JV, it's more fun and relaxed. There's not really anything stressing you other than yourself. So then on JV, you can just have fun and bowl and be around new people. But on varsity, things are a little bit different and they're more competitive. than what they are in JV, because your stats are actually being taken down and they're putting into GWOC, and it's just kind of building up more pressure.
So which do you think you like better, JV or varsity?
Probably varsity, because I have that competitive in me, and I love to compete against other people. It just makes me a better player in person, because I like to joke around and compete, and those two things blend well for me.
This is your second year, first year on varsity, and this is the first time that you're actually going to be going to state. So how do you think it's going to be different from the past few weeks of like bowling at sectionals and district?
Well, it's going to be completely different because of the different shot there's going to be out there. It's a different pattern. Difficulty is going to be increased dramatically. The atmosphere is going to be completely different. It's going to be filled with the best teams around state rather than the best teams around like your area and then district. It's going to be around the whole state. So it's going to be very stressful when we get there. It's going to be intimidating, but I think us as a team, we can power through it and stick through it.
And to be honest, the past two tournaments for sectionals and districts really have been familiar atmospheres, because you bowled sectionals at Woodman, which is home for Fairmont, and you bowled at Beaver View, which is home for Beaver Creek, and you've bowled there multiple times already.
Yes.
So this is going to be a whole new atmosphere, and it's not going to be very familiar from bowling around the area.
We have bowled at Wayne Webb before. It was for a tournament that we didn't do so well. We made the cut, but then lost in the first round. So we're going to come back with a fire and make sure we win it this time.
So also let's switch over to the girls team. So the girls team, the past 2 years, I believe it was my freshman year, about 2 years ago, they were winless in GWOC, and they had one win, and that was against Dunbar, because everybody beats Dunbar. And so then last year, they also had a losing season, but they had 1 or 2 wins in GWOC. This year, they finished the season off, it was around like 16, maybe 14, 16 wins.
Yeah.
How do you think they had such a huge improvement from 2 years ago?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not really familiar with the girls' team, but I do believe that there was some sort of leadership now with that team. And then with good coaching and a better team chemistry that they had from last year, because last year was just like a fun time. There wasn't really any like goal for them. It's just there to have fun, bowl. But now, when it was this year, they actually had a goal and go to state. That was their goal. But now, it didn't really work out.
Yeah, they placed 13th at districts last week.
Yeah.
Disappointing, but I mean, hopefully they'll do a lot better next year, because I can see them still being the same team, because they didn't lose any seniors this year.
They had 0 seniors.
Yeah. So maybe like half the team is maybe juniors and sophomores. So they're going to have the same team, I think, as this year to next year.
With the addition of new and upcoming freshmen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how do you think the freshmen for the boys team improved throughout the year?
Well, we had one upcoming freshman. He was probably the best bowler I've ever seen from my eyes that I've been bowling for 2 years. I mean, this kid is dynamic and amazing. He's not really there with the team chemistry. I mean, he's somewhat of a good team player, but we're trying to build his confidence up and trying to make him a team player as we go along for the rest of my season with Fairmont. But with new and upcoming freshmen, we're just going to introduce them to the program, let them know about us, let them know what our chemistry is, and if they need more time to build up to it, So if they need to start on JV, then work their way up, then that's all means necessary for them.
Do you expect this team to improve even more after all the juniors from this year, which includes you, leave after next year when they become seniors? Do you expect them to still keep up the improving effort?
I mean, with losing 3 of our seniors, it's going to be really tough for us in the off season because they're our leaders. We haven't had a different leader other than those 3. It's going to be very difficult, but I think one of us juniors are going to step up and become a leader this off season and make sure this team's on the right track to go back to state again.
You've been watching Inside GWOC, and I'm Alex Rader, and my guest today was Tyler Stegmoller, the Ohio Max Preps Player of the Week.